this my volume up here? It is up. I can probably actually just turn this up a little bit here. Okay. So I wanted to talk about two articles. This one's not going to be long, but I just kind of wanted to go over what's going on. So basically what we're looking at is, let me blow this up here. Ron DeSantis, Ron versus Don. So we're looking at Ron DeSantis versus Donald Trump. It's war. Florida governor DeSantis says backing Trump in 2024 now is too much to ask after he attacked him for being dull and having no charisma. So we're now going to have a runoff, basically, or not a runoff, but an actual battle here between Ron DeSantis, who's going to be running for president, and Trump in 2024. Like I said, so we're not looking at him coming back earlier. Like I said, we're looking at he's building a defense. He's got to get people that will stand with him in the midterms. Okay. Without that, it's going to be a wasted presidency. He'll never get anything passed. They'll fight him just to go against him, and he'll have no pull. That's a fact. So let's say Trump did get in and he's got an all Democratic House and an all Democratic Senate. Good luck. Right? So now we're at a point now where we have to have either Republicans enforce Republican ideas or Democrats enforce Democratic ideas. We can't play nice, which is bad for the country because we want best ideas, best people, not red and blue. Now, what I did find extremely interesting in this article, right? And everybody's like, well, you look at all the mainstream, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, what I did find that was extremely interesting in this article was that Trump called him gutless for not saying his status on his vaccine. Let's see. Trump appears direct aim at DeSantis in an interview last week. He called politicians who refused to disclose their booster vaccine status as gutless. So Trump's saying, look, if you don't come out and say you've been vaccinated, you're gutless. So I said, oh, well, that's interesting. I'd like to know that article. So I eventually went out and found the article. And the article is this one. And this is from, what is this, NBC News. And it basically says, former Donald Trump on Tuesday criticized politicians who refused to say whether they've received the COVID booster shot. In an interview with the far-right cable channel on One America One, Trump said he received the booster and has seen politicians get asked in interviews whether they've also got the third shot. I want to make sure I blow this up. They don't want to say it because they're gutless, Trump said. You got to say it, whether you had it or not. Say it. But the fact is, I think the vaccine saved tens of millions throughout the world. I've had absolutely no side effects. Trump said that the COVID vaccine largely prevented people from being hospitalized or dying. If they get it, they're not going to the hospital for the most part and dying, Trump said. Before it was a horror, and now they're not. And I just find it interesting that they basically, and this was on January 12th, this was done. I just find it interesting that if you don't want to say it, if you don't want to relinquish your medical information, which you don't in regards to HEPA, you're gutless. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that if I get something in medical treatment, I don't have to release that. If I get my flu shot, if I get my COVID shot, if I get surgery, whatever it is, I don't feel you're gutless as a politician or as a person. Just say, you know what, I don't want to give you that information. And I think that we're at a point now where it's like everything has to be transparent and everything has to be out there and everybody has to know everything. So we've gotten to the point that it's like, hey, when you start to have people that are running for president saying that the people that won't say if they've got it or not being gutless, I have a problem with that. Because if you don't, as a president or a politician, if you don't feel that my medical privacy as a politician or as a person is important, this is a problem. And I don't care if it's another politician. I don't care if it's somebody on the street. I don't believe shouting out people that won't say if they've got it or not gutless. You don't have to say it. And you know what? Then what you're doing is you're now making that political. By saying as a politician you have to say if you've got it, you are now saying medical advice is political. It's political. Trump's remarks in an interview also appeared to be in a part to be directed at Ron DeSantis, considering a possible Republican Party president for 2024, who has so far refused to directly answer a question on whether he has received a booster shot. So what? So what? Where does it end? I'm sorry, don't tell me it's not political if you're calling people out for not saying if they've gotten medical treatments. Really? In regards, I'm not talking brain surgery. I'm talking a shot. I don't need to know that. I'm sorry. I don't need to know that from my next candidate. I really don't. Unless you're making it political. Unless you're making it information that has to be given and out in the open. I don't need to know that. Tell me what your stance is on immigration. Tell me what your stance is on China. Tell me what your stance is on taxes. Tell me what your presidential powers are. But now we're turning it into this? I disagree with this wholeheartedly. And if this is what he's going to run on, if this is what he's going to start to push, if this is what he is going to demand from other people, guess who's next? Guess where his true opinion lies? Well, it shouldn't be mandated. Then don't ask me if I've got it or not. Where's the privacy at? That's all I'm asking. Where is my medical privacy start and end? And why are you asking? Why are you calling people gutless who don't come out? I have a problem with this. Does anybody else? Please tell me if anybody else has a problem with this. Be honest. Please read this article. Type this title into Google. Trump calls politicians who refuse to say if they've got the boosters gutless. And tell me if you have a problem with him turning this into a political statement. And then you tell me where his stance really lies. So I'm just going to end this one here. I'm going to throw it up. This is the type of stuff that also needs to be covered. This is this type of stuff because there is an election coming up. So, like I said, we need to kind of know right here. Boop. This is the other one, which is on Drudge. We kind of need to know where people stand. And if he doesn't really care and he's just using that to possibly throw it out there, I don't need that. I don't need people just throwing out statements just to make other people look. I need leaders. I need a leader. We need a leader. Not someone that's just going to throw shit everywhere and fire people up. That's great when you can fire people up, but you also need to be able to lead. And I'm not seeing a lot of leadership. I'm just not seeing it. And this is a problem. You need to be able to think before you speak. You need to be able to think before decisions are made. You need to have critical thinking. You need to have intelligence. You need to determine who is on your side, who's not on your side, and what's the best for the country. And you also need to know where your political powers as president stands and what they actually are. And he should, and at some point be like, well, I can't tell anybody to disclose that information, to be honest with you. If he wants to say it, he can. If he doesn't, he doesn't have to. I can't, call somebody gutless for not saying if they have or if they haven't, what's next? You tell me what's next. You tell me what road that ends up going down. It's not one I'm prepared for. It's not one that I'm going to vote for? Would you? Be honest with yourself. Please start being honest with yourself. That's all I'm asking. Please be honest with yourself. Would you? If I took the name Trump out of there and just said Joe Schmo did this and he's running for president, would you vote for Joe Schmo? That's how I look at things. Pull a name out, put another name in there, and tell me if you'd vote for that person. You tell me. And of course, everybody that, the ones that hide behind their things, that can't call people out, that can't make these decisions, that don't have the guts to say, you're right, or you're wrong. Just tell me if I'm right or wrong. Be a part of the conversation. But to me, think about that. You're gutless for not saying this. All I'm asking is, are you kidding me? I think you're more gutless for not having debates on it, for not having discussions on it, for not going back and forth on it. Not just saying, oh, you're gutless for not saying it. Not saying what? Where my privacy lies? Then I guess I'm gutless. I'm now a gutless deplorable in the eyes of Trump. Is that next? Now, he didn't say that. But I'm gutless too, because it's none of your business. All right, I'm going to end this one here. Just thought I'd throw it out there. As always.